I spent several years working as an adjunct professor. All of the experience I've drawn on for this channel has been from adjuncting. I only recently landed my first full-time job. Adjuncts are part-timers, professors who supposedly have a full-time day job and teach in their downtime for a variety of reasons. It's sold as teachers with real-world experience in a lot of places. Or they're people who haven't completed their terminal degree and they're working part-time as they focus on completing that degree, whether it's a master's or a PhD. But in reality, a lot of adjuncts have that terminal degree and are actively searching for a full-time gig. Here's the ugly truth. Those jobs, those full-time jobs that people spend anywhere from 4 to 12 years training for are disappearing fast. The classes still exist and still need to be taught. So they're taught by fully qualified people who by rights should have those full-time jobs. The adjunctification of higher ed has been a conversation in the industry for some time, but it's not commonly known outside, not even among college students. Adjuncts are hired for one term, whether it's a semester or a quarter. We find out anywhere from 3 months to 2 weeks before the term starts if we're going to have a class. I've worked at institutions where I've lost a class the day before it was scheduled to start, and all of that prep work went unpaid. Every term, about a quarter of the way through, adjuncts contact the person in charge of hiring us and say, essentially, please hire me again for the next term. And then we wait. We don't have job security at all. For several years, I worked on 3 campuses. I stopped getting work on one because there was a change in leadership. I found out I was on the short list of people to give a class to if they were available at another one, but even then, there weren't always classes. I worked at Lowe's this summer because I couldn't get a teaching gig. We also don't get paid for a lot of the work. We're paid for time in the classroom, and that's it. And we don't get paid much at all. Depending on the status of labor unions and workers' rights in the state, adjuncts make anywhere between $2,000 to $7,000 per class. The average is closer to $3,500 per class. If I take on 3 classes at $3,500 a pop, that's $10,500 for the semester. For now, let's skip over the extra work that isn't paid. The prep, the grading, the office hours. Let's consider that is $10,500 for the entire 15-week semester. That's 4 months. So I do that for 2 semesters, spring and fall, 8 months of work, $21,000. I can teach over the summer, get another $10,500, $31,500 for a full year's work. Mathematically, sure, except there are limits on how many courses a school will offer. Most will only allow an adjunct to teach 8 classes over the course of those 3 terms. So that takes me down to $28,000 for a year's work. That's if I get those 8 courses. That's without considering I don't get paid when I'm not under contract. I haven't been paid in January since 2008. That's without considering the time that I am expected to be available to students when not under contract to work for free. This is why most adjuncts work multiple campuses. I'd try for 6 courses in the fall and in the spring and 3 in the summer, a 6-6-3 load. A full teaching load is 3-3 or 4-4, or trading one of those semester courses for a summer course. To be clear, I routinely taught 10 to 12 classes a year. For several years, I did get the max allowed courses, but it's only been this year that the money offered by the main university I adjunct for approached $3,500. When I started, I earned $2,200 per class, and I average about $2,600 per class. For 8 classes, that's $20,800 a year. That's barely above the poverty line for a household of 2 adults. For a job that requires at least a master's and prefers a PhD, a degree that can take over a decade to earn, with the attendant costs in tuition, loans, and other debt. For 12 classes, that's $31,200 a year. But that's cobbling together 3 different part-time jobs into one salary. Starting pay for full-time professors varies by state, but the average is about $55,000 a year at the low end. There's another side to this. Not just that some college professors live barely above the poverty line. It's how many courses are taught by adjuncts. Estimates run between 50% and 75%. Generally speaking, core requirements, or general education courses, make up about half of the credits required for a bachelor's degree. Most of these courses are surveys. That is a basic introductory course where the professor covers the basics of the content and methodology of the discipline. Full-time and tenured professors often have 2 loads, even 2 1-loads sometimes, because they're expected to be working on research or running labs, serving on committees, performing service to the department, the university, or the discipline in exchange for that time in the classroom. When full-timers do teach, they're often teaching in their specialty. The reason they were hired, those general education courses that every student must take to graduate, are left unstaffed. Enter adjuncts. We've seen again and again that colleges and universities turn to adjuncts to fill the gaps in the schedule and to do it on the cheap. In 2011, the City University of New York's Office of Institutional Research and Assessment reported that over 50% of their general education classes were taught by adjuncts. In 2015, at the University of Louisville and Jefferson and Community Technical College, around 70% were taught by adjunct faculty. Those general education classes are the face of a department. They show students what the discipline is about, how it works, and what makes it exciting and important. It's the place where a student finally finds the thing that sparks their imagination. It's the place where students learn the things that they didn't learn in high school. It's where they learn to explore, to experiment, to get outside their comfort zone. It's where the department catches the undeclared student and turns them into a major. It's where a department can boost enrollments in their upper level courses through student engagement. And it's left to people who have to work on multiple campuses to earn enough money to live on. It's left to people who aren't paid to do all the work that actually goes into teaching. It's left to people who have to wonder which bill they're gonna pay this month. Adjuncts don't show up in marketing material, but we are the face of the department because we show up every day in class. And we tell a room full of 18-year-olds why we love this discipline so much that we're willing to put up with this situation. And then some of them decide to join us. I don't have a pithy or clever way to end this. I don't know what the answer is. I do know this is unsustainable. It's been going on for decades and it is getting worse. Tenure lines are disappearing and adjuncts continue to shoulder the burden at great cost. I guess I just thought you should know. I'll see you next time.